Hello everyone and welcome to our channel Fellow Realty and our project blog
Building Our House in El Salvador.
virtually. Okay, so I'm Carlos,
And I'm Lynn.
and so thank you for being back with us and watching what we're doing in El Salvador. So let's get to it. And we're starting with basically one of our carpenters' shop. Now, this one was the young one, I do believe, and he is the one who's going to be looking after getting all of the wooden stuff for our perimeter, garden, the yard, and things like that. So what you're seeing right there are the Conacaste posts, which are going to be installed hopefully not too long from now.
And as well, there's some timber, and you can see it drying there. So the process in El Salvador is that they dry the wood before they can use it, otherwise it warps. So, we moved on to the bathroom. So now we're tiling the bathroom. That's the master bathroom wall. And we had special glass tile that a little challenging to install, or to cut anyways, but they're doing an excellent job installing that.
Exactly, and believe it or not, that tile specifically, we didn't think it actually would be, as expensive as it turned out to be, but it was. So that was a one-time purchase, and we're not going to do that again. Right here, we're now back to the social bathroom. So this herringbone style, and in this particular video segment, the builder, Don Vicente, he's explaining to us what he's doing because he had never done a herringbone pattern before.
And we like to torture people, so we made the poor builder and a number of tilers do it not only on brick, but in the washroom and also in the fireplace and many places because we like herringbone.
And as the nightmare continued, Don Vicente basically is telling us here that there's going to be a lot of wastage. I mean, we knew that already, but he's just because that's how he is. He was telling us, that this cut here, we had to take a different tile and cut from that and so on and so on. But this is the social bathroom. It is coming along nicely. There's still a bit to do, but it's getting there. Okay, so in this particular one here, just as we've done before, this is one of the ways how we communicate with the builder, okay? By explaining to him what we're looking at from here. Now, in this segment, what I'd like to explain is like what I'm pointing at here is, or basically our modifications, okay? Because, and there's a reason to it, this is the original plan of the site. So as you can tell, in this particular one, that circle represents where the driveway, okay, was intended to be according to the planning, right? However, we had a change of plans, okay, and we wanted the basically the driveway in slightly different. So this is the one other change that we wanted him to do. It's a concrete walkway, okay. So there you have it. It's going to be a huge difference.
So just to add, the change of plans was to add a 2-car, it's actually 2.5-car carport, which is not in the original drawing. So therefore they had to modify the driveway and then the walkway to the house.
Exactly. So, being that we're in Canada, this is the only way as to how we can communicate these changes with him and explain it in detail, what we envisioned. And of course, it's basically a question to him whether can it be done, can it be adjusted, and how much longer it's going to take, and most importantly, how much more is it going to add to the cost.
And the nice thing about Don Vicente is nothing's impossible. Every time we had an adjustment or modification, the answer was, yep, I can do that. So here's another example of a modification. It's the design of the kitchen.
Okay, so this is carpenter number 2. And this one was actually sent to the builder so that he could relay it to carpenter number 2. Why? Because as we're pointing out in this segment, okay, Well, we got the stove right just to the right of the pan as you're seeing, okay? The thing is, well, it's a stove and it's a gas stove, it's not an electric one. So what we needed to communicate to him is that we wanted that space right there to be left with enough storage to facilitate a 30-pound propane tank. Okay, so but this is the only way that how we could do it and communicate this info and make sure that he gets it and confirm to us that it is possible.
So kitchens typically in El Salvador have about a 4-inch raised concrete platform where the wooden cupboards would sit on them. And, that was different. It was not something we do. So he modified that for us.
Exactly. So now we're at the outside. Basically, this is facing the front, the road, okay? And this is the far corner, which is still being worked on. And as you can see, the gentleman right there digging up the holes for the columns, okay? That's where the base of the columns is going to be at. Now, in previous videos, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to pan out here to the left soon, you were watching that, the welder was still working on the fence, on the iron fence. Well, they pretty much are now at the phase where, all of the iron fencing is being installed, okay? So this one here, okay, it's basically the part of the terrace, okay, the edge part of the terrace. And Don Vicente basically is, just letting us know that, things are coming along and everything is basically squared off, because it's a huge thing, right? You gotta make sure that everything is in place, well, accordingly.
So this did require quite a bit of fill to be brought in to raise the level, specifically for the carport. And Carlos is pointing out the iron fence that's complete as far as they've got the columns done so far. And then they'll continue around the carport once that's complete.
Right. So, it's still a lot of work to be done, but, we figure that we're about 65%, perhaps a bit more at this point. And I'm saying about 65 because, the carport still needs to be built. As you can see, they're still working on the columns, right? Well, there's a concrete floor that's going to go right on it, a rooftop and everything. Plus a fence around it. So there's still quite a bit of work. They're still working on the inside of the house, as you can see here. Okay, this is one of the holes. That is part of the column where the carport is going to be located.
So we're looking into the neighbor's property now, which you'll see once it's finished is actually quite high. There's a drop down with a retaining wall to the neighbor's property.
And it's a nice day. It's not, as sunny as one would imagine. It's just a bit overcast. I do believe this is early in the morning, which they really appreciate, because once the sun comes out, it really gets hot. Okay, and so they really do like working first thing in the morning and towards the afternoon, to late afternoon, as the sun goes down. They really appreciate that. So as you can see, okay, work is still ongoing on that side of the fence facing the street. Okay, but it is coming along, and they are really doing quite a lot. Every week that goes by, there is a lot of progress.
So one of the interesting things, I'm sure Carlos has explained in past, and I've been a little bit absent for the past number of videos, is that most of these know all of these holes. So in this case, that's a footing, and the trenches are all done by hand. There's no machinery. This is hand, hard labor with shovels. And what amazed me is, how do they get them square? Because I don't know, but when I dig a hole, it's not square.
So the guys are really quite amazing. Starting with the builder, Don Vicente, and his crew. And for those of you who have been watching and keeping up with this channel, you've noticed that it's pretty much the same crew throughout. Okay, except the odd, specialist that comes in, like the welder, the window guys, obviously the electrician, the carpenters, and so on.
Plumber.
Right. So for the most part, it's the same crew, and they really do they work their butts off to get this project done.
So sometimes they have extra energy. It's hard to believe, but let's say it was a rainy day and they have extra energy at the end of the day and they wanted to work overtime. So we encourage that in order to move the project forward, was to earn a little bit of extra money and work overtime if they wanted to.
That's correct. It's all about helping the locals, and we do have a few locals working as part of this crew. Okay, now and talking about helping. So this is Don Meme and his truck. Don Meme is the gentleman with the tying up the stuff here. Okay, that's his truck. This is on a weekend. Basically, this is a Saturday afternoon. Okay, everyone is basically getting ready to go home, and what you can see here, all that sheet, metal sheet. Okay, that's there, and quite a bit of the wood. Okay, well, Don Vicente, the builder, is actually taking that home. Okay, we're giving it to him. Well, now we're not giving everything to him. Half of the corrugated sheet metal. Okay. It's been already distributed between the workers, okay, so that everyone gets a piece. So why are we doing this? Well, because we're not going to need it. And that was a lot of sheet metal. If you remember the shed where they were living in, where the carport is now being built. Well, this is the metal, okay? So they can have it, and as long as it helps them and they can use it for something, we're more than willing to help out.
Fabulous. I think, in Don Vicente's case, he did get a portion of the metal and the wood, and I think he used it for his son, to help his son build a house. So that's awesome.
Actually, yes, he did. Okay. And so, but again, everyone gets a portion of it if they want it. If they don't need it, and there may be, a couple of guys who may not need it, and they may say they need it because they just don't have the means to carry it away or to their homes, right? And so luckily the builder does have Don Meme, who takes him home every weekend, and he picks them up. Actually, he doesn't necessarily take them all the way home. Most times, if there's no cargo to be taken with them, then he just takes them to the bus station, and then they do halfway and so on. But he does pick them up. So this is a Monday morning. They're coming back, okay? And so there is a load of material that was required. So there it is. So we give you some numbers so that you can see. And this is one trip, and one of perhaps two trips every week, because there's always material that is required, and it doesn't matter where it is. It's got to get done.
So we typically use Don Meme for our transport. He's fantastic. He's local. He's very, very responsive. He needs something and he hops to it. And sometimes he's involved on transport. Oh dear, he's in the hole. 2 meters down, he's digging a base column.
and the reason why these particular holes are that deep is because you got to remember, this is still part of the fill. This is all fill soil, right? So the foundations, the footings need to be deep enough to basically touch firm ground. Okay, it's the only way that we want it, because it's the only way that is going to be strongest. Okay. Now, this particular hole here, okay, if you read the captions right there, this is what happens when Don Vicente is away for a little while, okay? And this is the thing about the builder, Don Vicente, is that he'll actually tell us, and he told us, while I was away, and these guys, they started digging this hole in the wrong location, so I had to get them to stop and, bury it and redo it, which is great. because at the very least, what we're getting from the builder is sincerity, honesty. And he's telling us, exactly what's happening, the good things and the bad things.
Oh, he told us about lots of mistakes and lots of mistakes that we made as well in guessing where things should go and making him move them or replace them as needed. But he was very good about it.
That's right. So, and the fantastic thing about the builder, Don Vicente, is that he does communicate daily. We get at least 5 videos from him every day. Now, out of those 5 videos, you might be thinking that, well, we should be seeing a lot more, right, on your channel. Well, the thing is, out of those 5 videos, I could probably pick 1, maybe 2 that I can use as part of this video blog, because as someone mentioned already in one of the comments, it's just very hard to watch the videos that we post because, well, Don Vicente is not a professional, cameraman.
He's not a videographer, he's a builder.
So you can see that he moves around quite a lot, and when you're really looking at 5 videos a day, and some of them are 3 to 4 minutes long, well, it gets a little hard on the eyes. So we try to do our best to select the better ones and the ones that are most relevant to you as the viewer and understand what's going on.
Yeah, we want to be able to show you progress. Some days things would look like there perhaps wasn't as much progress, and other days there were more, so we pick and choose.
Correct. So there you have it. Okay, work is still going on. Now, this particular young man right here, okay, he's an extremely hard worker. Okay, he's actually a local. He lives 5 minutes, 10 minutes down the road, down the mountain. Okay, so we're keeping our eye on him because he's been recommended already by the builder for future employment.
The crew was great. They're all very, very hard workers. So I'm sure Carlos explained this previously, but I was amazed when we went there to see how they did the rebar, and all of this is bent by hand. There's no machinery here. And usually 1 or 2 guys, this was their job all day long, was to bend rebar, get it ready for the holes.
That's correct. And so, sometimes, we say, well, some people are, jack of all trades, but, master of none. Well, in this case, I would say half of these guys, the crew, they really are jack of all trades because that's how they make their living, and they need to learn the skill and then apply it. So this is here just a quick caption of, how we envision the front porch, how, it's going to look like, or so we hope.
So you can see they're all doing various tasks all over the place, but they're all coordinated, working hard.
And you also have to remember that this is only the outside. This is only what's going on the outside, okay? On the inside, okay, there's still work going on. The ceiling, it's being installed, mind you, that's a completely different crew, but there's still work ongoing in the interior of the house, okay? Electrician is still, basically, he is part of the everyday crew. So whenever there's no electrical work for him to be done, then, he switches to do bricklaying and or foundation and things, things like that. So everyone is actually busy doing whatever they can and whatever they can help with. So this is our the principal bathroom, okay, and Don Vicente was just basically showing us how the tiling is going on, because he was a bit confused at some point with the types of tiles that were supposed to be going on the walls and on the actual
niche.
Yeah, things like that. So the good thing again, is that he does communicate this, and he will not do anything until he's 100% sure.
I think at this point he was letting us know that we didn't quite have enough tile for the shower, and that would be my fault. I didn't measure correctly, So we went out and got some more tile.
So we're back at the social in the social bathroom. Okay, the herringbone, same thing. It's pretty much done. But he did wanted to tell us that the grouting has not been completed yet, either on this wall or on the counter, as you're looking at here, and the blue tile wall that you can see. Because they don't want to do it just yet, because, well, the ceiling still needs to be installed, and so they don't want to do that because, you know, obviously, you know, you're going to be cutting extra pieces or whatever, so they'll just wait. Okay. And talking about bathrooms, this is the secondary main bathroom. Okay. And the same thing, he's showing us how the tiling work. It's going. Okay. And point to note that right here, okay, we did catch that little mishap right there. And that went back to the builder and said, like, hey, what's going on there? You know, that's not even, and that's not quality work, you know. And so whatever you need to do, you know, magic, whatever it is, but that cannot stay like that. And so he did fix it. So that's still the secondary bathroom. Okay, will be tiled over, but that's coming because they still need to do some pressure testing within the lines. Okay, and that's the plumber. And at this point in time, they were waiting for him to actually they were waiting for plumber number 2 to get on site and start doing all the pressure testing.
So that was one thing that we did bring from home in Canada. We brought the shower fixtures, which I don't think they were very familiar with. They're a little bit different than what they have there. Oh, we're looking at the ceiling now.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, so, you know, there are a lot of things that they themselves, the workers, the builder, are not quite experienced with, let's just say, not quite knowledgeable. And so they're learning. They're learning a lot of things, okay? So here, basically, he's showing us that the ceiling crew, okay, they've been busy. So you can see all the aluminum support have been installed, okay? And this is where the drywall is going to be basically supported on, right?
So what they've been doing as of late is installing the wood beams, and they were quite a chore. Carlos may have explained this already. And it looks like most rooms are done so far.
Yeah, for the most part, right? So there you have it, you know, and he definitely, the builder, wanted to show us that, you know, just to let us know that everything is, you know, it's coming along. Yeah, you know, at times it is taking a little bit long, but that's you know, things out of his control, mostly because the specialist crews, like, you know, the ceiling crew, you know, sometimes the electrician, they're not as, you know, readily available. I mean, they are available, but it's still going to take like 2 to 3 days sometimes to get there, especially with the plumber.
So you'll notice here in the ceiling, he's pointing at, I think he's pointing out the white insulation, and that's like kind of a vapor barrier, but it's more of an insulator. I think it was made out of felt, if I remember correctly. It's quite thick, and we went with a thicker one for 2 reasons. One is that, no, we don't need to heat the house, but we wanted sort of a sound barrier from the metal roof when it rains, and it rains hard, as you know, in El Salvador. And it really, really, I think, will help.
That's correct. So, you know, and so...
So they're doing the drywall now?
Yep, they've started, you know. It's just that there's a lot of roof to cover. It's actually, and hopefully you'll be able to appreciate the fact that it is actually, there's a lot of square footage, you know, when it comes to you know, the ceiling and the roof and things like that. Okay, so we're back outside. Okay, it's on a beautiful day, and there is the septic tank as we just passed it. But now they're working on the last part of the terrace wall. You can see it right there, and that's how exactly, well, at the very least, how we envision how it's going to end up. Okay, it's a retaining wall, basically out of a cinder block. Okay, but it will have also a foundation, and not only that, it will also have they call them tensor lines. Okay, which are going to run all the way in and hook up to the main foundation in the house. Okay, so that way there's going to be no chance of spread outwards once the fill comes in, once it's completed. But we'll explain that as we get to that part. So there's the crew. Okay, as you can see, it's still a it's a work site. It looks messy, yes it does, but it's, believe it or not, looks much better than 3 months ago. So there it is. Okay, we've come again to the final stage of this video. Thank you very much for watching.
See you soon.
And stay tuned for more videos. Ciao.